Hello and welcome to a Friday night edition of FPL Expectations with me, Craig. And we're doing a special episode today where we are trying to build a team from a budget of £90 million. Now, many of you may be thinking, it's near impossible to build a competitive team in the FPL world, but I'm here to tell you that it is not. And the man that has built this team with 90 million is none other than All About FPL, Surya. How are you doing, Surya?
I'm doing good, Craig. So it was a bit of a challenge when you said 90 million only, but then with City and United missing out and a lot of good options at the 6.5 million range, I could actually build up a team with 90 million. In fact, I've saved a sweet 0.5 million for you, so it's 89.5 currently. So I'm glad to show every one of our viewers the 90 million squad that we have assembled. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason why I've asked this is because I think budget options are always key, especially in FPL. I mean, everyone knows the premium ones, but then when you have your John Lundstroms of last season, and you have those Mason Greenwoods as well, those hidden gems that come at a low price, which maybe not everyone knows about. So I guess you're here to talk us through it and tell us who we're missing out with in our squads that we've been building. So this is your budget, 90 million dream team to select. And I'm just going to get it up on the screen for you guys and talk us through it. Talk us through the goalkeeper selection first.
Yeah, Craig. So the goalkeeper spot was fair enough, straightforward. So this is the least I could muster. So 8.5 in the bank, and so 4.5 million keeper and a 4 million keeper to be a backup for him. So I choose the Brighton duo of Ryan and Button. So the thought process behind is that same team keeper being rotated in just in case Ryan misses out, and also the fact that Brighton have strengthened their defense. To be honest, this season they have added Lamptey has been a very good youngster that has come up last season. He's raring to go. They got Veltman from Ajax for a few pennies, and there's Ben White coming back from Leeds as well. So their defense looks fairly stronger, and I do feel they will have a Sheffield HQ defense this season. So that's the reason behind Ryan, and he's just 4.5 million as well. And I couldn't look past him. And he's an Australian. That's another added thing. And there's Button, who's 4 million, and he's always been this legendary bench keeper for me for the last season. So I've carried out with him. So 8.5, the least that I could do with the goalkeeping section. So that's with my goalkeeping slot. And interestingly, coming to the defense, I wanted to have just
hold on, Surya. I'm
okay.
Goalkeepers first. I mean, you're talking through the Brighton selection now, and I mean, I can understand the Matt Ryan one, but I mean, you look at the first 5 fixtures for Brighton, and it's not exactly the most tastiest fixtures. I mean, they open the account with Chelsea at home, then they go to Newcastle, Man United, Everton, and then Palace for the first 5 fixtures of the season. So, surely there are better 4.5 options out there for your keeper.
Yeah, so I have had a quick look into this guy, McCarthy from Southampton, but the process that Ryan is one amongst the keepers who has the higher save percentage last season, and Brighton are a team that really attacks a lot. This leaves a lot of scope for Ryan to get in a lot of saves, and those save points come in. So even if it doesn't reflect in a clean sheet immediately, there could be a lot of save points, and those 2 points finishes, and those 3, 4, 5 points, and if that might even increase if there's a clean sheet with bonus coming in. So that was my thought process. And Brighton and Southampton rotate very well. So it was a matter of fact between McCarthy and Lamptey, or Ryan and Walker Peters. So that was my thought process, and I feel Walker Peters is firmly sealed the starting spot because Lamptey didn't start the friendly match, and Veltman indeed started at his position, and he was subbed out for 45 minutes. So there is a little bit of a concern that Lamptey might be rotated, and considering Graham Potter, he is notoriously known to rotate players. That's why Trossard was a very good player last season at 5.5. He couldn't become an FPL asset because he was rotated very much. So, considering the fact that Ryan cannot be rotated and Walker Peter cannot be rotated, so I went with this fact. And Ryan's save percentage and his active involvement in the game slightly made me go Ryan over McCarthy. So, McCarthy was my initial choice, and looks like Ben Foster is also back in the mix, and he's come back from Celtic on loan, and Ralph might even rotate. Who knows? So I wanted to be safe with the budget, so it's Ryan for me, Craig.
Okay, then we're going to move on quickly to the defenders. Now, I see there, I know you've been on a £90 million budget, but you've managed to squeeze in one premium one. I think it's a name that's going to be on everyone's. Well, I see the ownership, and he's on about 53.6 the last I checked. And that's Trent. You can't afford to go without him, can you?
Yeah, no way. Actually, he's on 53.9%, and it is absolutely phenomenal for a player. And he's back from injury as well. He's with the England squad, and as we discussed in the eye test episode, we clearly knew how much Liverpool missed him and how much Salah missed him without his presence in the Community Shield game. And I simply cannot go with him. That's why I told I took 3 premium players under 90 million budget, and I couldn't look back beyond Trent Alexander-Arnold because his importance is always there. I have run through his numbers. He's there amongst the top in free kicks. He's there amongst in corners. He's there in assists. He's there in clean sheets, whatnot. That guy is a complete package, and I cannot do justice without going with him. So Trent takes his spot as a premium premium defender in my squad, and the rest of the defense is worked out at 4.5 and 4 million only.
Yeah, you touched on Walker Peters earlier when you were discussing the goalkeeping option, and you talked about the rotation between Brighton and Southampton. I just want to touch on a more interesting selection that you made there. Saliba from Arsenal, and you've got him into your squad. Now, do you actually believe he's going to start that first game week?
Yeah, so that's what. So I feel he missed out on the Community Shield game because he was very new and he was just a couple of training into the fixture. And I firmly see him start. And in fact, Tierney started as one of the centre backs, and now with Socrates on a potential move to Schalke in the coming days on loan. So I feel
Napoli as well.
Yeah. So that's is there. So I feel Tierney moving to that spot is preferred spot, and Saliba taking his place. Gabriel is also there. So, but Gabriel is praised at 5 million, if I'm not wrong, for the centre back. So I feel Saliba is a great option into Arsenal's defense, and the first 2 fixtures are really good. So really cheeky. So at 4.5, he's a very great option, and Saliba rotates very well with Wolves defender as well. So that was the thought process for me. So it was Arsenal and Wolves defender that's being rotated. So that's the reason. Vinagre is over there as well. So Vinagre, okay, we all know Wolves defense is slightly shaken at the bit with Johnny being injured and Doherty being moved to Spurs. So there's a bit of this thing there, but due respect has to be paid to Wolves defense. Ever since Bowley returned, they have been phenomenal, and their numbers post lockdown in the 9 games that they played, they have conceded just 6 big chances. From 9 games, they just conceded 6 big chances. That's how strong and how good Wolves defense is, and we all know Nuno sets up his defense up front, and Saïs and Bowley, they still have a very good, very strong centre-back pairing, and I feel those clean sheets will continue. So combined with the fact that they rotate well with Arsenal's defense, so Saliba and Vinagre at 4.5 was a no-brainer for me. Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on quickly to the midfield, and we talked about your premium asset in Trent, but moving into the midfield, you've gone for 2 premium outlets there in Oba and Salah. I see what you've done here. I give you a budget of 90 million. On average, that's about £6 million a position. But what
exactly.
I see what you've done. You saved up and you've gone extra hard in the midfield. Talk us through that.
Yeah, exactly. So with the squad with just 90 million in budget, so it is important to gain points, and I don't feel any other position than a midfield slot to rack up points. And Fulham and Leeds to begin with, and those are juicy fixtures for two amazingly great players. So I was working out in a way that I could put one premium midfielder and one premium striker up front.
Okay. Yeah.
The dearth of options in midfield because City and United are missing out for game week 1, and the fact that Aubameyang faces a promoted Fulham side at game week 1. So I felt it was it for Aubameyang for me to begin with, and Salah with Trent back, and he's very good in beginning the season, and he was fairly quiet last season towards the end, and I fully expect him to bounce back strongly. Something that is done all along his career. So when he has a slump, he bounce backs with a massive upside, and I feel Salah is in for a bigger haul against Leeds in game week 1, and in general towards the season, throughout the due course of the season as well. So that's my fact with Aubameyang and Salah, and both of them could be easily shifted to say Raheem Sterling or Kevin De Bruyne or Greenwood or the likes of any City United assets coming up after game week from moving on from game week 2. So that was the thought process. So that's with those two premium guys, and those guys took 24 million out straight out. That is basically close to one third of the budget that you've given me. But with due respect, I am just going to invest those 24 millions there with no regrets. Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, and the two, obviously, I wouldn't say budget because they're a little bit above budget, but the two other options that you've selected in midfield, Stuart Armstrong and Saint Maximin.
Yeah.
I noticed there's no Souček in there, who's had a pretty good preseason. Is this anything to do with coronavirus?
Yeah, exactly. So he was in my team till yesterday evening, and I was, in fact, I was convinced yesterday morning to brought him in my team, and I think I jinxed it. So the moment I brought him in 2 hours, I see tweets flying around that he's been in contact with a player who's got the coronavirus, and he might be quarantined for 14 days and missed the game week 1. So I was fixated with Saint Maxim and Souček when I was thinking out, but then the COVID-19 situation made me remove Souček. But if he's there and absolutely at 5 million, I see there's no better value midfielder than him at that price point, because he's more of a person who scores from headers and he's strong aerial, and I strongly believe the fact that someone who can score headers is fixture proof. A header can come in a big game, whatever it is. So you don't need to actually start him based on fixtures as well, considering the budget of 90 million. So that was my thought process, but then unfortunately COVID wreaked havoc in my planning. So that's when Armstrong got in. So there's always this case of Armstrong, Saint Maxim, and Souček being compared as the best 5.5 million midfielder, but this made me choose these two just because of COVID. I had to go Armstrong and Saint Maxim over Souček, but let's see. I have that spare 0.5 as well that I sweetly saved at 9.5. So if he's ready to go, then Gordon misses out, and I'll bring in Souček as well. So that strengthens the bench to a fair bit of an extent, to be honest. Yeah,
so you reckon that Gordon is the best 4.5 midfield option out there as well?
Yeah, so okay, 4.5, that is nothing much to do over there. So that is Bissouma from Brighton. Yeah. That is Orion Romeo. He's surely nailed to start, but then
he's more defensive minded, isn't he?
Yeah. But then looking at the squad, it is already triple Southampton. It's a lot of Reds in there, to be honest. To Arsenal, to Liverpool, and 3 Southampton. And Gordon is someone who started towards the end of the season, and we are still waiting on to see if to be honest, the Allen deals have not been completed by Everton still, so it has to be seen he'll start right through, and he's more of an attack-minded player. So it's Gordon for me at 4.5. But at the end of the day, 4.5 is just a slot for to
Yeah.
fill in to the bench,
Correct.
and so anyone would do so. But then if you're looking for safety, Bissouma would be the best option. I would prefer from Brighton, and Romeo is another defensively oriented. It's again a boring spot. Maybe we would unearth the jewel at 4.5 like Lundstram last season, but let's wait and see. Probably Gordon could pick that up. He was respected by Ancelotti, and he's a very powerful manager. So he might start. He might swing a surprise on it. So that's the reason Gordon is there. More of an attacking perspective, and I feel he would at least start first 1 or 2 weeks because Everton are still late in the transfers, and I feel he might be a decent pick to be in the bench. But considering if anyone else wants to be safe enough, Bissouma would be the one I would suggest at 4.5. Ali nailed on to start. Yeah.
All right, moving on quickly to the strikers, and now this is where the big bucks are earned. But you've gone for a different kind of approach. You've gone for obviously a stacked midfield in terms of 2 premiums, and you've gone for low-budget strikers.
Yeah, exactly. So my strikers were Mitrovic, Ings, and Harry Kane with my normal squad. But then when the 90 million budget cut out, I had to move around and play around with players. And Mitrovic is a talesman for Fulham. Last season, he was directly involved around 39 or 40% of Fulham's goal in Championship. He was a very good for Fulham, and when they were in the Premier League in the 18-19 season as well, they were relegated. But then he did the bulk of the scoring, and I do feel there isn't any good player than Mitrovic. Obviously, Leeds signed Rodrigo recently, and he might be a good player, but then Leeds' style of play is not something directly touch basing with the striker doing the bulk of the scoring. But I fully feel Fulham's majority of the goals will come through this guy. He scored he scored on international duty yesterday as well, so there is no injury concerns. He's in good form. And Che Adams is something that I was been wondering whether it's been Ings or Che Adams, because he had a fairly bad start toward the beginning of the last season, but then he scored his first goal against Man City. His numbers pretty much match with that of Ings post restart, and Ralph is a very attacking manager, and I see there will be chances for both Ings and Adams. And considering the 90 million budget, if someone is looking for a very budget-oriented striker, Che Adams with a very good fixtures is a great option. The captaincy should be on Salah or Aubameyang. That's a small mishap.
Yeah, we're going to ignore that bit. We're going to ignore the
yeah, exactly. So the captain goes to Salah or Aubameyang. So I was a bit of a hurry to put this up. So that's the reason. Yeah. And to finish it up, it's Brewster for me because I was running out of budget. There was the 4.5 option. There are still rumors that he might head out on loan up front before the for the new season. And if he gets to Sheffield United or Newcastle United, I see him start a few games, and he could be the Mason Greenwood for this season probably. So the team has been set up on overall a longer run. Anticipating few changes as well, so that's the reason. But this fairly with the fact that it is also under the 90 million budget frame. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Absolutely fantastic. 89.5 million and you've come out with that team. It's amazing. I thought you'd actually struggle, but you haven't. I'm going to give you 1 minute, all right? 1 minute to explain how you're going to move from this team into City and United assets. Go.
Yeah, okay, so that's a fair enough straightforward process. Aubameyang or Salah. So I feel there's a lot of value that is been with the City and United midfielders. So one of Aubameyang or Salah, or even both of them, downgrading for say KDB, and one from the United picks, probably Greenwood, or probably say
Van de Beek at 7.
Rashford, yeah. So that's the thought process. So I am gonna play with the City United midfield with the placeholders in the form of Aubameyang and Salah. Or if I could save money on transfer, I could upgrade Armstrong to Greenwood, say from 5.5 to 7.5. That's just 2 million, so that I could save from doing Aubameyang to or probably someone like Bruno Fernandes, and then those 2.5 would suffice Armstrong to say Phil Foden or Mason Greenwood. So that's how I would switch Craig. But then if Aguero back in terms and the striker option shoots up, then obviously there's a need of a bit of a surgery. So if you want to put things in clear how I could wrap up, so probably Aubameyang to another ZH or someone at 8 million and upgrading Mitrovic to Werner or someone like Kane. So that gives even more of a balance. So that's something that's coming up in my mind as we speak. So that gives you even more of a balance to rotate with, because the premiums are at midfield, defense, and strike. So that could also be a very good option to sum up for someone looking at budget. Yeah, great.
Absolutely fantastic. I didn't think you could do it. You've actually pulled it out of the bag and produced an absolute masterpiece for £90 million. Thank you so much for putting in that work. And thank you out there for watching and seeing what options you have at 90 million. There is value out there in those FPL assets. You just got to look at it. Please watch this video. Do subscribe to us if you like it, and give us a like. Anything you'd like to discuss on our future shows, do drop us a comment, and we will be setting up a Twitter page for FPL Expectations. So stay tuned.